there. Happy Friday to you. You've made it just in time for today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Audrey Williams. As usual, the show promises to be an informative one, so stay right there.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Friday, October 23. Hundreds of residents in communities around Barracks River, St. Mary are benefiting from a new bridge that was constructed at a cost of over $34 million. The bridge was officially opened on Wednesday by a minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Everald Warmington. Mr. Warmington told the gathering that as minister with responsibility for the works portfolio, he was committed to improving and building infrastructure for residents across the parish.
I came here and there was two bridges, this one and the one at Chesterfield. And I gave the undertaking, and I'm happy today that we're able to complete those two bridges to provide comfort and the facilities for the people in those communities. There are two bridges that I have to do before this term is over. And that's the Boxers Mountain, Bushy Park, and then Mr. Smith reminded him that we have Spring Village, the Nightingale Grove one in my constituency also.
Minister Warmington also revealed that the National Works Agency had been asked to reopen a single lane at a section of the Boxing Plant Bridge, which connects Richmond to Highgate, to accommodate smaller vehicles. In the meantime, Cabinet has approved $321 million to correct soil slippage issues on the Covey Road in St. Mary. Minister Everald Warmington gave the update on Wednesday as he toured the roadway with senior officers from the National Works Agency, NWA. The funds were also approved in the secondary supplementary estimates. Minister Warmington said the design to correct the problem was in the works for some time, awaiting funds.
So the work that he shows you here is something that we intend to start very, very early, to ensure that this problem doesn't occur again.
He explained further that the work to solve the breakaway was not part of the contract to rehabilitate the Junction Main Road in the parish, and expressed confidence in the plan to end the continuous soil slippage. Meanwhile, the Director of Technical Services at the NWA, Roger Smith, reported that under the multi-million-dollar corrective project, a reinforcement concrete structure would be built to retain the embankment.
It's reinforced concrete retaining structure, which will be founded in a very competent rock formation, an igneous rock, which is at and below the river level. The river actually runs over it. Once we clean out this area here, we're going to have the excavator key into that rock and replace it now with a concrete foundation on which we will put the reinforced concrete diamonds. Those diamonds will be used to retain the embankment on which the road is to be finally constructed.
Mr. Smith said drainage would also be added to the southern end of these works to take water from the nearby valley into the Wagwater River. 16 schools at the infant, primary, and junior high levels have been fitted with internet service equipment, allowing them better access to educational broadcasts coordinated by the Ministry of Education. The schools that have benefited so far are spread across Clarendon, St. Anne, St. Catherine, St. James, St. Mary, St. Thomas, Westmoreland, Kingston, and St. Andrew. They are among 100 of the neediest schools identified for priority attention, and the installation of equipment in all these institutions should be completed in another 2 to 3 weeks. This is part of the ministry's distance remote learning approach to help students receive their education through the provision of a diverse blend of learning opportunities and resources. These include television programs using the ministry's e-homeschool network and the PBCJ, as well as free air-to-time on TVJ, CVM, and JIS. In addition, lessons are being aired on various radio stations, and schools have been provided with a learning kit that comprises textbooks and worksheets. The birthplace of late former Prime Minister Hugh Lawson Shearer in Martha Brae Trelawney is to be declared a heritage site. Additionally, the family house in the community in which he grew will be restored. Culture Minister Olivia Grange made the announcements during the recent National Heritage Week Thanksgiving church service at the William Knibb Memorial Baptist Church in Falmouth, Trelawney. She pointed out that Trelawney, which is currently celebrating 250 years as a parish, has contributed significantly to Jamaica's cultural diversity and development. In honor of two of its sports stars, the minister said Troy Primary School in the parish would very soon be renamed the Veronica Campbell Brown Primary School. Meanwhile, a life-size statue of decorated Jamaican Olympian Usain Bolt will be erected in the historic town of Falmouth.
It is my pleasure to say to you this morning that his statue is ready to be erected here in the town in December, before the end of this year.
And finally, the Jamaica Fire Brigade, JFB, will be using a virtual format to get the message of fire safety and prevention across the Jamaicans during Fire and Life Safety Awareness Week 2020. The week will be observed from October 25 to 31 under the theme Being Fire Safe While Socially Distant. Acting Assistant Commissioner and Officer in charge of the Fire Prevention Division, Emilio Ebanks, says it is important to continue reaching out to Jamaicans who are spending more time indoors due to the pandemic, as history has shown an increase in fires when more persons are at home. He says the brigade will be engaging the public through a slew of activities, utilizing traditional and social media. That has already started with the brigade's Instagram jingle and poster competitions, which closed on October 20. The JFB will also be hosting virtual university fora during the week and is undertaking the strategic placement of fire safety messages in traditional media outlets to reach students learning at home and online. Mr. Ebanks was speaking at a JIS think tank on Thursday. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
On Monday, close to 200 Jamaicans were bestowed with national honors for their contribution to nation building. One of them was geographer Joy Eleanor Douglas, who was awarded the Order of Distinction Officer Class for her outstanding work in urban planning and construction. Learn more about her contributions next.
In June 1959, the daughter of the late Ivan George Leopold Douglas and Edma Laura Douglas made her debut into the world. As she grew up, Joy developed a passion for the built environment and would enter the male-dominated world of urban planning and construction. She carved out a career that earned her the reputation of being one of the movers and shakers in Jamaica's evolving urban planning landscape.
I'm Joy Eleanor Douglas. Started my professional career at the Ministry of National Security, Military Administration, then went on to the Ministry of Construction Housing, went off to undertake my professional degrees in urban and regional planning. I'm a Master of Urban and Regional Planning, University of Pittsburgh, Graduate School of Public and International Affairs, 1984.
On her return to Jamaica, following graduate studies, Ms. Douglas took up employment with the Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica as a geographer planner, before going off to co-establish the Jamaica Conservation and Development Trust. As one of its founders and first executive directors, Joy Douglas worked as a consultant for many years to the government and other international and regional bodies. After that, she was asked by the government to become the senior planner for the Highway 2000 Corridor Development Plan.
I am the Portmore to Clarendon Park Highway 2000 Corridor Development Plan architect, and the country can see what has happened with that development.
Joy Douglas continued her quest of making development happen when she accepted a request to serve as general manager at the Urban Development Corporation, UDC.
I've also undertaken significant work at the Urban Development Corporation, completing numerous projects. The most significant of which I would say is the Montego Bay Convention Center. which it was a project undertaken with the government of China. I also completed the Montego Bay Sports Complex, the Port Maria Civic Center, upgrading at Duns River Falls, refurbishing of the Jamaica Conference Center, and numerous other projects.
Her role in the decision-making process has been integral in meeting the goals of the new urban agenda for land use management and holistic development. Land use changes and zoning for Montego Bay, in which she was involved, resulted in much of the Barnett Estate development with outlay of business process outsourcing facilities, among others.
We, of course, also started to look at the redevelopment and further upgrading of orchards. The K Manus development is also a significant part of my work. But I would say that those would be some of the more significant achievements.
Joy Douglas's work in urban and regional development has not gone unnoticed. In 2020, the Jamaican government awarded her the national honor of Order of Distinction OD Officer Class.
One always is pleased, you're always pleased to be recognized for anything that you have done from your own countrymen. And so from that standpoint, I accept this award humbly. I have a passion for my profession, which tells a lot about my personality, the matter of planning and making people's lives better. And I also believe very strongly in youth, in having to plan for them. It has only helped to increase my determination to continue to make a contribution to making Jamaica a better place, because our young people deserve the best.
Joy Douglas continues to serve in various capacities, but primarily as an advisor to the government, as she advances her role in helping to realize Vision 2030, making Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business.
What do you need to know about masks for your children? You want to ensure that the mask fits your child snugly, as in it covers their nose, their mouth, and it fits neatly at the side of their face, no gaps. You want to get your children some washable, breathable mask made of fabric. You want to ensure that they carry an extra mask with them, because once that mask gets dirty or wet, they will need to change the mask. When they get home, you want to ensure that those masks are washed and ready for the next day or the other day to come. Also, remind them that they need to wash their hands when they're putting on the mask and when they're taking off the mask. And as much as possible, they should avoid putting their hands at the center of their mask. If it is that they have to make any adjustment to their mask during the day, it's important that they either wash their hands or use their hand sanitizer. Mask wearing is a new normal. Let's get it right.
In our next feature, we zone in on two young Jamaicans at the Winston Jones High School in Manchester who aced their recent CSEC exams. Immediately after this, we will highlight two outstanding students in this year's Primary Exit Profile PEP exam. Sit back, relax, and enjoy these success stories.
My name is Jamaica Magazine. I received 7 subjects in the 2020 CSEC examination. I am the top female performer in industrial technology at the Winston Jones High School.
I am Ryan Cunningham. I received 7 1s and 3 2s in the 2020 CSEC examination, and I am the top performing student at the Winston Jones High School.
Despite all the adjustments made to the 2020 sitting of the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate CSEC examinations, Rayan and Danica have really excelled.
I feel pretty good because I work hard for it. I know that without hard work I couldn't have done it, so I had to study it very hard. Even though this COVID was in, I had to study. Sometimes I didn't have the internet to go do the online classes, so I would study a lot harder than usual out of textbooks and stuff like those.
While they received a passing grade for all the subjects they sat in their CSEC exams, it came as no surprise that they both aced their industrial technology examination with grade 1 passes. In fact, all students who sat the industrial technology exam at the Winston Jones High School passed with flying colors.
I'm happy to say that we receive 100% passes, although we normally get 100% passes over the year. However, the quality of passes this year actually improved.
When asked, Ms. Thompson revealed that one reason for the success of her students is the Industrial Technology Circuit Rally that was held in March for 5th Form Industrial Technology students. Let's take a step back in time.
The Electrical Technology Rally is an initiative that would have been started by Ms. Nadine Thompson. Ms. Thompson is the head of the Industrial Technology and Visual Arts Department here at Winston Jones High School. The initiative is really to showcase the work of our students and to really provide a backdrop for motivation of our students and to really make that connection between what is happening in her classroom and the realities of the industry.
The initiative, which is in its 2nd year, requires students to work in groups of 2. 4 groups emerged this year, namely Scorpio, Taloas, Legends, and Gladiators.
This is my method of actually preparing my students adequately for their end of external examination, which is an NCT VET exam and the Caribbean examination, electrical technology. The students are actually making different circuits. They would have designed their own concept from a number of weeks. They would have come together, they would have gone to hardware to get their research on prices of materials and actually sit down and actually created and design and construct their own circuit on a board.
Created a circuit with 2 fluorescent lamps, a breaker and a meter box that is designed for a room with 2 bedroom halls and a bath. My group member John Ira helped me to design this circuit for this purpose.
In the circuit, I have 2 3-way switch, 1 single pole switch, and 2 filament lamps and 1 fluorescent lamp. So the 2 filament lamps are controlled by the 2 3-way switch, and the fluorescent lamp is controlled by the single pole switch. The recycled pipe and the filament lamp holders and wires, and some of them we have to use connector bar and wire nut because we run out of wires, so we have to connect them together.
It works by, you have a meter that is supplying the whole circuit with the current, and you have a breaker which is protecting the circuit from damage. You have a 20 amp and a 15 amp and a double base 20 amp, which the 15 amp is used to protect the lighting and the 20 amp is used to protect the plug outlets, and the 30 amp protects the whole circuit. And up to 5 plugs can be on one 20 amp breaker, and up to 12 lighting can be on a 15 amp breaker.
Well, what I've done today can help me in my exam because, for example, in the circuit, you know you have 3 wires you use, 3 colors, black, red and green. The black is the neutral, the red is the live, and the green is the earthing. And you know that in the meter box, you must always earth your neutral.
During the rally, the groups were judged by the principal and past students Marcus Biggs and Alice Telesto. They received constructive criticism on their creations and were awarded for their effort.
The students, you can see that they were well trained, well taught. When you ask them, they were versed in answering the questions. When you look at the circuits that they would have put together, you see that time and effort was put into this venture. I have a cash prize to give out to the winner as well, and some complimentary gifts, phone cards, and also for second prize, cash prize as well. I also offer a scholarship if anyone from this department get 3 ones, I would give them 150,000 to whatever pursuit they want to attain.
As Ms. Thompson now basks in the success of her students, she is grateful that the annual Industrial Technology Rally was once again successful in preparing students like Rayon and Danica for their exams.
I must say I'm really proud of Rayon and I wish him all the best, and I know he's going to use his education to really solve national issues, and he will contribute a lot to Jamaica. I must say I am really proud of Danica also, being the only female inside the class. She would have contributed and made a significant impact, and will also encourage my other female students who are at lower school to actually select a subject like electrical technology. And also I'm really happy that I would have made that significant impact on her, that she would have actually received a grade 1 in electrical technology, and I wish her all the best.
Now that they have completed high school, Rayon and Danica are now looking forward to expanding their skills in electrical engineering. Both have applied to the Hartrust NTA National Tool and Engineering Institute in Kingston and are awaiting enrollment.
I want to become a marine engineer because, well, it seems cool to be working on ships and all, and you get to look at the engine and all that stuff. The reason why I choose industrial technology is because most females don't do that field, and I want to change that, and I love doing those subjects or work. It's kind of fun to me, so I just do it, and it's mainly boys, and I kind of like the competition between the boys.
I plan to further my skills in electrical installation and technology. I chose this because over the years, electrical has helped a lot of people, because without electricity and those stuff, you won't have light and stuff like those, and nowadays they are building electrical cars, so that's why I'm pursuing that career.
And before we go, Rayon had an important reminder.
Mr. Big said that if any of us who did electrical got 3 ones, we would get a scholarship. And I got 7 ones and 3 twos. Mr. Biggs, if you're watching, just know I am looking forward for the scholarship.
The performance task and curriculum-based test of the primary exit profile PEP exams had to be cancelled this year due to the COVID-19 outbreak. And as a result of this, a hybrid approach was used to grade and place the students. Despite the adjustments, 80% of the students who sat the exams this year were placed in one of their preferred high schools. And guess what? Today we'll be speaking to 2 of these PEP stars who excelled in their exams despite the challenges.
Hello Jamaica, my name is Jenna Knight and I'm a student of St. Jude's Primary School in Kingston, and this September I will be attending the Holy Childhood High School.
Hello everyone, my name is Dante Skirvin and I previously attended Providence Kindergarten Preparatory School in the parish of St. Thomas. This September I will be attending Campion College.
I feel great because I worked hard, I got motivated, and I studied really hard for this exam. My overall score was 80s and 90s because I studied really hard, because my teacher told me I need to study and motivate me to do it.
I'm very elated at my performance this year. Well, my score were like, most of them were over 90. I got 100 in the ability test that I did earlier in grade 6.
It is evident that Dante and Gianna did really well in their exams. And I know you might be wondering, how did they do it? What are some of the challenges they had? And how did they overcome them? Listen up.
I went to Saturday classes and extra classes, and also went to winter classes because I really needed that time to learn, to move my grades up. And also my parents studied with me to help me motivate myself to move more in my grades and also do more in my work.
From K3 coming up, I've been doing well. I've come first every time, and it's because of my grand aunt and my mother. So they expect me to do well in everything, so I've studied my homework, look over my subjects and everything that I can, and it all went through and I came first all the way up, going up. Even at graduation, I got awards for top achiever, being the top male in the subject, valedictorian, and others. Well, I did not have a timetable because I didn't really have the time, but I did take extra lessons each week with Mrs. Hall, my grade 6 teacher, and also Miss Fisher, my grade 5 teacher. And every time I went home, I studied, did my homework with my grand aunt. My grandma is my biggest motivator because she's always there for me, and every time I slack off and don't study, she always, well, push me back and let me study.
My greatest motivator is my teacher because she helped me when I don't understand my work, and she also explained to the whole entire class why I don't understand it, and she's just a huge motivator to me.
So because of COVID-19, we know that a lot has to be changed to prepare students for back to school this September. And so we want to ask Gianna and Dante, how are they feeling going back to school in this new normal?
Despite COVID, I'm looking forward to the extracurricular activities, the 4-H clubs, the gym, and also the education that they'll provide for young youths like me. Some of the safety procedures will be I have to wear masks, wash my hands daily with soap, and not greet each other in a way that we can touch each other.
I am a little afraid of COVID-19 because I have asthma, and that will give me the ability to have a shortening of breath, to have hard breathing. That's why I need to sanitize and wash my hands regularly and wear my mask most often.
And right now we're about to wrap up, but I hope you were jotting down notes on how these two students were able to excel in their exams despite the challenges. Here's some more advice just before we go.
My advice to new high schoolers like me is that there's a lot of challenges coming your way, but do your best no matter what. And as it relates to COVID-19, wear your mask most often, wash your hands and sanitize. Be safe.
Although some primary school students did not get the school of their choice, I'm hoping that they will go to the school, make new friends, and do their best to be the best. Just like the pandemic just now, you don't know what might happen, so you must do your best in everything that they give you, every test. Try your best, study hard, and make sure you study, put everything down right if you can, and then let everything see out. With that said, all the best.
And this is the final stop in today's magazine. Thanks so much for journeying with us. As we go, we implore you to stay connected via our website, jis.gov.jm, or our YouTube channel. And while you're online, send us your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or via our social media pages. On behalf of the entire JIS production crew, I'm Audrey Williams. Have a great weekend.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.